This video was brought to you by Skillshare. Okay, let's talk about color. A lot of artists, especially younger ones, myself included actually, have a hard time transitioning from black and white to color. You know what I mean? You have either like a line art sketch or a black and white painting, and you want to turn it into a fully rendered color illustration. And so you've got a good base and you start painting, but somehow it always looks amateurish. Well, I've noticed one glaring issue in a lot of beginners' work, especially when it comes to color. So maybe I can help you out. Okay, so the first thing you need to know is that all color is relative. In all aspects, color is always relative. Just as an example, this is not the problem I want to talk about, but I think we should just get this out of the way. You know how we're taught that red is angry and blue is sad? Well, it's a lie, mostly. See, it's a westernized way of looking at color. It may seem universal, but that's only because so much of our media has been influenced by Western culture. In most European countries, red represents danger, anger, passion. But in many Asian countries, red represents joy and good luck and prosperity and fortune. And in some African cultures, like Ghana for example, red is used as a symbol for mourning and grief. It's a funeral color. Color is always relative. How you apply color must always be appropriate to the context of your painting. So, on to the problem. I noticed this in a lot of beginners' paintings, and the moment I see it, I just know that this person doesn't know anything about color. I can spot it from a mile away. I like to call it painting with absolute color. So before we get started, let's just quickly run through the basics of color. I'm sure a lot of you already know this, but if you don't, let's just catch you up to speed real quick so whenever I use these terms later on, you'll know what I'm talking about. So first of all, hue. Hue is the color of the color. For example, if it's red, green, blue, that's the hue of the color you use. Yeah, okay. Okay, saturation is how vibrant the color is, right? So a red with full saturation would be pure red, and then the lower down you get in saturation, it slowly moves towards gray and then until it becomes pure gray. Okay, and the value, also known as the brightness, is how dark the color is. So, white to black, basically. And that's really about it. So these three aspects are the holy trinity of color. By adjusting the values of these three components individually, you can basically get every single color in the visible spectrum of light. Okay, so absolute color, what is it? You may have heard of the term local color. Put simply, it's the color of an object. For example, the local color of an apple is red, right? What about a green apple? The local color of an apple is red. No matter how you artificially alter it, the local color is still unchanged, red. This is its absolute color. The problem is this: we rarely see objects in its absolute color. Our brain just doesn't perceive the world that way. And this is especially true through the lens of a camera. You know that optical illusion where it's like, well, what color is this? And what color is this? Haha, psych, they're the same color, they're both gray. Shut up, you're stupid and I hate you. Yes, if you take a color picker and pick both of these, you read as the same color. But that's not how our brain sees it. In the context of its surroundings, this is blue and this is brown. Color is relative. So the issue with 90% of bad art is this: painting with absolute color. So what do I mean by that? You paint the grass green and you paint the sky blue because grass is green and skies are blue. Then all your landscapes look like the Windows XP wallpaper, and it ends up being what I call RGB puke. It's like you just discovered digital painting, and now you have all these colors at your disposal. So of course you're gonna use all of them, right? I paid for the whole slider, so I'm gonna use the whole goddamn slider. And so you lose control of your colors and you wonder why your art looks so bad. Don't worry, I got you. This one simple technique will help you fix that. It's called gamut mapping. Traditional painters have got it figured out. Of course, this is partly out of necessity, but it's also because it works. They would pre-mix their colors on their palette, but they wouldn't use every single tube that they had in their possession. That's gamut mapping. What it means is to artificially limit your color palette by only mixing from a select few colors. So when it comes to traditional painting, it's simple. You just pick 3 paint tubes and that's it. But what about digital painting? Well, you can artificially limit your colors by using this thing called a color wheel. So you take your color wheel and you pick 3 points so it forms a triangle. Doesn't really matter where, they don't have to be the most saturated. In fact, it's better if they're not. They don't even have to be primary colors. Now only use colors within that triangle. By masking it out, what you're doing is basically emulating the traditional approach. So say you have this triangle and you have a green object in your scene. Well, too bad, bitch, you ain't got no green. The easiest so the easiest way to look at it is like a map, like a video game mini map. Say you want to use green, so you start walking in the direction of green, but then you hit the barrier that is your gamut map. So you stop there. That's it. That's your green. And you'll be surprised just doing that how green it looks compared to the rest of your scene, because again, all color is relative. And even though you're just painting with some sort of desaturated blue or gray even, it's gonna look green and it will look nice. It's a really easy hack. If you just limit yourself to that little triangle, your colors are gonna look good. So what this technique does is it basically helps you understand the relationship between hue and saturation. See, you can change a color by either changing its hue or changing its saturation. Play around the saturation slider and go from full color to gray and notice how the temperature of the color changes. So for example, a really saturated blue, a cool color, starts to become warmer and warmer as it becomes less and less saturated and moves towards gray. That's because if you look at the color view like a map, you see that it's starting to walk towards the direction of orange, which is a warm color. And so by using the gamut map, your relationship with the color wheel really changes. It's not some sort of abstract diagram that artists use to understand color anymore. It now becomes very easy to navigate your way through this complex world of color. So that's it. Really, just do that. Okay. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, if you like the video. Bye. This video was brought to you by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creators. So the one class that I'm having a lot of fun with now is art journaling for self-care, 3 exercises for reflection and growth by Amanda Rach Lee. On top of it being really well produced and really cute, I think the approach here is very similar to what we do in sketchbooks. So I think there's a lot to learn here when it comes to making a piece of art that is very personal, and in doing that makes you a stronger artist. So the best part about Skillshare is that it's made for learning. So there are no ads and they're always launching new premium classes so you can stay focused and follow wherever your creativity takes you. So Skillshare has a new offer going on now. The first 1,000 of you to click the link below will get a month-long free trial of Skillshare as opposed to the usual 14-day trial. So go ahead and click that link and give Skillshare a try. Explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and get lost in creativity with Skillshare.